Blizzard of 99 has blown through St. Louis, leaving this city with more than 10 inches of snow and frigid temperatures. But Old Man Winter isn't the only unwelcome visitor. Today, the NHL has some very bad news for the Blues. From the Kiel Center in downtown St. Louis, ESPN2's National Hockey Night brings you a Western Conference showdown between the St. Louis Blues and Vancouver Canucks, led by Captain Mark Messier. Hi again, everyone. Dave Ryan with you from St. Louis. Welcome to the Kiel Center, where it's freezing cold outside, but the controversy inside is red hot. Today, the NHL making the Blues give the New Jersey Devils 2 first-round draft picks and $1.5 million in cash.
This is a very tough, very bitter announcement and day for this franchise and this management group. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman, in a ruling dated December 28th, 1998, has fined the St. Louis Blues for actions in 1994 regarding negotiations with Scott Stevens of the New Jersey Devils. The Blues violated NHL bylaws and the NHL Constitution, which prohibit tampering, player agreements not disclosed to the National Hockey League, and conduct detrimental to the National Hockey League. The penalties that we will describe are the harshest in the history of the National Hockey League.
So we bring in Darren Pang. Darren, the Devils have until 2003 to cash in on this whole mess, but for St. Louis, it couldn't get much worse.
It's a bit of a bonus now when you think about it for the New Jersey Devils. It's just been so darn long. It's like the cobwebs are there, and you're going to wipe them all off. And you think that if you're a St. Louis fan, you're thinking, that happened so long ago. Why the heck would they figure it out now? Well, there's no doubt that there was a little bird somewhere that said there's documents in a filing cabinet somewhere. You better go look at them because they're there. The St. Louis Blues are certainly paying the price. But don't forget, as you heard Mark Sauer and Jerry Ritter right there, it was the old regime of Jack Quinn and Mike Shanahan that were a big part of that. So this is really, it's terrible news when you think of the first-round draft picks for the St. Louis Blues. But really, when you think of them, they're stable right now. They want to build a winner right here with a very, very proud fan base.
Well, Darren, more controversy to talk about this time. Vancouver Canucks head coach Mike Keenan. When we come back, we'll let you decide what the problem is with Vancouver.
Hey, Ken, you okay?
Oh, sure, fine. Just fell down, all.
That is the great thing about this league. No one ever gets hurt.
Yeah.
In the NHL, they get contusions.
Sure. But us, we can play forever and never have to worry about getting hurt, eh?
That's right.
Certainement. We'll never go on the DL. No.
Never be traded, eh?
No. Never be released.
No.
Never win a Stanley Cup.
Oh, never date a supermodel, eh?
I'm dating them all the time, Mr. Sissy Pants.
We welcome you back to the Kiel Center, downtown St. Louis, underway. Boone McCreary, our referee, Andy McKelman and Thor Nelson, the linesman. So glad you could join us on a frigid evening. After a brutal winter storm that has rocked the Midwest, not a big crowd tonight to check out these teams because it's so darn cold out. A lot of people staying in, but we're glad you're tuned in to watch us tonight here on ESPN2's National Hockey Night. This is Scott Young for St. Louis. He'll float it down ice. And Matthias Olin, along with Scott Pellerin, will give it chase. Craig Conroy comes up with it, tries to center, and it's directed just wide by Scott Young. Young's got 5 goals after a very rugged start for him this year. Signed a big free agent contract in the offseason, coming from Anaheim. Mark Messier's line seeing initial ice time for Mike Keenan's Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah, the first matchup there. Joel Quenneville, the home coach, will get the last change. It looks like he's pretty comfortable, and of course he would be having Pronger on the ice anytime Messier and Mogilny is on the ice, along with his top checking line of Craig Conroy and Scott Pellerin on one side and Scott Young on the right.
Harry York along the near wall, battles there with Ricard Persson. And it's kept in by Vancouver, finally shoved out to Pavel Demitra at center ice, trying to spring Hanzos, who was loose. And eventually the puck is covered up. All right, a good opportunity also from Lubos Barteko, the rookie from Slovakia.
Now the all-Slovakian line going up against this goaltender tonight for the visiting Vancouver Canucks. Corey Hirsch played in their last game on Saturday night. It was a 2-1 loss against the Montreal Canadiens, but Mike Keenan is rewarding Corey Hirsch for his fine play and also giving his #1 man Garth Snow a little bit of a break here as Mike Keenan returns to one of his former employers right here, the St. Louis Blues. And coincidence or not, it's right in the middle of a storm as well, with everything going on with the decision by the National Hockey League and the tampering charges.
We should point out there that Mike Keenan was not yet part of this franchise when the alleged tampering charges took place. It was before his regime, and he came from the Rangers. Had his own tampering troubles there, but not related to these.
No, you're right. The history of tampering, you're right when you get into it. It went back to 1994 when Jack Quinn negotiated with Keenan. Let's talk a little bit about the hockey game, though. And Mike Keenan, the last 5 games that the Vancouver Canucks have played in, it's been a situation where certainly they have struggled 0-5-0, and the goals for per game. That's why the addition of Mogilny coming back from that MCL injury is so huge. And they're giving up 3.5 goals against the game. That ratio is just, you're not going to win hockey games unless you win 1-0, and that's, you know, far and few between in the National Hockey League. The power play has been struggling at nearly 10%, but they're going to give you everything they've got every game. They play hard. They're a determined bunch, and they really stick together through all the distractions that they have faced. And that's one of the keys to Mike Keenan. The more distractions, the better his teams play. And right now they are struggling, but they are sticking together, and that is the good news.
Dana Merzen is paired with Brian McCabe here for Vancouver, and Scatchard follows up in the far corner. Racked up by Jamie Rivers. Trent Platt, former Philadelphia Flyer. They came in an early season swap from the Philadelphia club. Puck loose in front, and a pretty good chance for Vancouver early on. Dave Scatchard's had a good year with 7 goals and 6 helpers. Offense has not been a big problem for Vancouver this year, and Jamie McLennan will try to make sure the offensive woes continue here tonight.
Well, his last 6 games, and Jamie McLellan came in relief of Grant Fuhr 2 games ago in Nashville, won the game 6-5. He played in their last game on home ice on Saturday night. The great solo effort of Dave Strader here on ESPN2.
That's right. We should congratulate Dave. Great effort indeed.
You betcha. Jamie McLennan played in that game, lost it 1-0. Joel Quenneville has done just a remarkable job, though, with this hockey club, because they are also faced with injuries. I mean, Jeff Courtnall is still out with post-concussion syndrome, and Pierre Turgeon's still out. Chris McAlpine is out as well. I really like dealing with Joel Quenneville, and I like the way he deals with his hockey team.
Rookie Matt Cook taking the draw for Vancouver into the offensive zone, and Rivers will send it around for St. Louis. We're scoreless early on. Kelly Chase getting some ice time along with Mike Eastwood. Sent in front. Tony Twist and Chase are out there together, and it's covered up by Corey Hirsch.
Good save by Hirsch. Easy save with the glove side. And sort of to wrap up this whole thing with this Scott Stevens fiasco, I mean, before Joel Quenneville was here, I mean, this was a very proactive team. And you think about something they did in 1990, they're still being, you know, they're being hurt with that relationship that they had with Scott Stevens. But the $1.5 million in compensation, the majority of it going to the New Jersey Devils, the rest going to the National Hockey League. They'll surrender that 1 first-round pick to the Devils, but they'll swap another one with the New Jersey Devils, and the St. Louis Blues will have the right to say no for one of those years. But really, till 2003, Lou Lamoriello and the New Jersey Devils will control what little first-round picks that the St. Louis Blues will have,
so
in essence.
2 picks, 2 different rounds, or 2 different years in the first round. It is a little complicated. Broken stick. Eastwood off the draw has got some new lumber. Cook will follow in for Vancouver. Rivers along the end boards will send it around. Kept in by Brian McCabe, former New York Islander. Poke to the near side. Chase tries to bring it out. Hit hard from behind, though, by big Chris McAllister at 6'7", almost 250 pounds. Mike Eastwood wrestling with Steve Stayhouse along the end boards. And it comes loose along the goal line. Finally shoveled to the blue line, but not out. And then a whistle. We've got our first call coming from our referee, Bill McCreary.
McAllister's going to the penalty box, and he just took down to the near side, to our side on the left side, defenseman Jamie Rivers. And, you know, the thing about McAllister is he's 6'7". He's 235 pounds, and that was just basically, it was a nudge. And as he finished it, though, he got the heel of his stick on the back. And watch the heel of the stick. Nothing big. Nothing really going on there. Rivers sort of lost his balance, went down rather easily. I know, just knowing that McAllister's that big and strong, I mean, he could have really given it a, you know, a violent, he could have really given him a good shove, but it didn't seem that way. But nonetheless, it's a power play, Dave, for St. Louis early on in this hockey game.
So 2-minute minor, cross check on McAllister. Power play has been outstanding for the Blues so far. 3rd in the NHL, also 3rd on home ice. And the Canucks continue to take some bad penalties. Been a big problem with them. Pavel Demitra, big blast. Pad stop by Hirsch. Demitra leads this team with 19 goals. Al McInnes, speaking of a big shot, along with Pronger at the points. And the Blues set up. That's Terry Yake inside the left circle for Pronger. Controls an escape, then McInnes. Here's Chris Pronger. Down low, they work to Dimitra inside the right circle. Pavel Dimitra gets things set up and forces down low. There's Jim Campbell, number 10. He's back in their lineup after missing 4 straight as a healthy scratch. Pronger, big shot, and Hirsch saw it all the way. And Darren, to get back to that note we were talking about, the Canucks have had to kill 223 penalties this year, by far the most in the NHL. Blackhawks are next at 196 coming into tonight.
Yeah, that's as a result of being an aggressive team, but also at various times in the game of an undisciplined hockey team. You know, the unique thing about the St. Louis Blues now for Vancouver and for Corey Hirsch is the 2 big shots that they're going to have on the point, one Pronger and one McInnes. He also made a good save on that one. Pavel Dimitra, I mean, this guy is a world-class hockey player, and the Vancouver Canucks can ill afford to give him time and space in the neutral zone to create shots like that. Corey Hirsch looks good early on here.
York and Eastwood take the draw. To the right of Corey Hirsch. Former Canadian, the Olympic goalie. Back in the 94 games. Young with Eastwood. Behind the goal, they'll reset the play. Intercepted by York, the former Blue. And he tries to lead the charge. Vancouver #1 in the NHL shorthanded. They've got 10 shorties this year. And 6 of the 10 have come away from their home ice in Van. Pascal Rayom across the line for Young. Power play continues. Still 38 seconds and counting for St. Louis. And one of the best power play units in the NHL. Mike Eastwood sets up shot. Works for Pascal Rayom. He's come alive of late with some pretty good offensive play in the last few games for the Blues. Coming off a 1-0 loss here Saturday to the New York Rangers. They limited the blue shirts to 10 shots, but 1 got by Grant Fuhr, and that was the game. Pascal Rayom knocked down, and Young, they'll try to recontrol along with Pronger. Cross ice for McInnes. He sends that one through, but no one home. Final 5 seconds of the power play. Eastwood looking for an angle for Young. Thought about a shot. Here's Pronger, walks in, big shot, and he ripped it wide to the right of Corey Hirsch. Penalty clears were even 5 aside. Still controlled by St. Louis. Rayom behind the goal, trying to feed in front for Eastwood. Intercepted instead by Marcus Naslund. What a year he's had. With 19 goals, 32 points, second on the team, but a brilliant season. The best of his young career so far. You have no score early in St. Louis. Back underway, 14:30 to go in the first period. This is Scott Young. He lost control at center ice. Murray Barron regaining along with Matthias Olin. They're paired on the blue line for Mike Keenan's team. Intercept by Messier. Spins back for Olin. Had a great start, but over the past 16 games, just 1 goal for him. Here's Young across the blue line. Free, big shot, and a stop by Hirsch. Saw Scott Young's blast all the way, and Olin comes free around his own net. Works there for Murray Barron. Cross ice for Alexander Mogilny. As Darren mentioned at the top of the broadcast, just returning to the Canuck lineup on Saturday, a 2-1 loss to the Montreal Canadiens. Barteko, Handzus, and Dimitra, the all-Slovak line, and boy, they've been grabbing some headlines here in St. Louis. Brett Hennigan with the great wheels. Across the line himself, McInnes tries to head him off with a pass. Barteko runs right through that check, and it comes loose to St. Louis. McInnes with the blue line to Handzus, intercepted first by Harry York. Barteko had a man and Dimitra open, but he was held up by Adrian Aucoin from behind. He couldn't quite get loose. One more stride, he was going to break in free.
Good play by Adrian Aucoin to read that.
Dimitra with a stick loose. Someone's lost the lumber. It's Barteko from St. Louis. Hirsch pokes it away. Puck still loose. Handzus at 6'5" and very strong. The rookie tough to knock off the puck, but it is sent down ice.
Nice. All-Slovakian line, very, very strong in all aspects of the game. You'll hear a lot about them as the years go on. They're all very solid. They all do the little things pretty well.
Into the offensive end. Shot, and again, Hirsch saw it. Got a stick and a glove on it, and directed it wide into the near corner. And that is where Ricard Persson will regain. Along the end boards, reverses.
Whoa!
And a big hit averted by McInnes. He is thankfully all right, but that was dangerous. Anytime you get those ankles and knees pinned against the boards, that could be trouble.
Oh, yeah. Look at McInnes go. He went right at Trent Platt, although it was Dave Scatcher that had hit him in the corner. Neat thing about Al McInnes is he's a finesse guy, but he also, when he gets his dander up too, he's pretty tough, and he was really aggressive there, taking away the blue line. That was a good, smart play by McInnes.
Donald Brashear tries to control along the near wall. He's the Canucks resident tough guy. after Gino Ojic was traded to the Islanders last year. Terrier at center ice. Call up recently from the Worcester Icats of the Ice Cats of the American League. After Pierre Turgeon, Portnoy both injured and not coming back anywhere in the near future. Here's Brashear. Trying to go through a double team. Instead intercepted by Rivers. He'll force to the near wall where Twist comes free. Hit there by the rookie Cook. Adrian Aucoin try to get it free for Cook, and he does. He wheels through the neutral zone on the blue line. A big shot, and he ripped it just wide of McLennan. Steve Stayhouse tries to follow up along the near wall, and McAllister out there as well. There's a big body as the high man on the forecheck. 11:26 to go here in our first period. McInnes hit pretty hard, but he's all right. No score in St. Louis. More coming up on National Hockey Night.
Welcome back to St. Louis. Still scoreless there, and Al McInnes sits on the bench in his last shift, going to clear the zone, tries to squirt away from Dave Scatchard. It was also at the end of his shift, so he might have been a little bit tired. Then he comes at the blue line, a little bit more aggressive right here on Trent Klatt. I mean, completely took away the offensive zone. And when you're talking about defensemen, move up in the play, move up, take away the blue line. Well, that's exactly what Al McInnes did right there.
Here's Mark Bergevin at center ice. First time we call his name, first shift. There's Joel Quenneville's Blues. First of 4 regular season meetings between these Western Conference rivals. And as we mentioned earlier, it's been all St. Louis. They've won 5 straight in the rivalry. All 4 last year by a combined 16-4 count. So they have dominated. Matt Cook, the 20-year-old rookie, was hit hard, and the play is whistled down. John Butchergross has a Tampa Rangers update for us. John, what do you have?
Action will begin in Toronto, where Darcy Tucker scored 35 seconds into the first, and then 18:05, it's Vincent Lecavalier, 7th goal of the year. He has 5 points in 6 games. And in New York, Patrick Marleau, 7th goal of the year from Joe Murphy. San Jose leads the Rangers 1-0 after 1.
All right, John, double dip there. 2 updates. Thanks very much for that. 10:50 to go here in our first period.
You gotta love that Vincent Lecavalier. I mean, folks, you get a chance to see this guy. The future is bright.
Future looking fairly good here, at least the immediate future. The offensive end for St. Louis. Young carries in. He's had a good first period with a couple of chances. Olin will lob that towards center ice, where it's gloved down by big Chris Pronger. The Blues captain and second youngest captain in the NHL. Behind Paul Correa of Anaheim, but only by 6 days. Talk about close.
Talk about 2 great players.
Oh, brother. Here's Olin. 5 goals, 15 assists for him after a brilliant start. We've said he slowed down a lot. And they need him, along with some other blue liners, to cash in on some offensive opportunities to break out of this losing streak. Alexander Mogilny, along with Messier and Brad May. This line for Mike Keating's Vancouver Canucks. Turnover, but Mogilny was offside.
Well, this is something that Alexander Mogilny is used to since he came into the National Hockey League, and that is the team's best defenseman against him. He's so nifty, so quick. His hands are just so soft. He makes plays that the average player, I mean, you can't see. He sees plays develop and is obviously one of the premier stick handlers in the NHL. But, you know, he missed nearly 18 games. It was against Detroit, and he ran into Martin Lapointe, and it was an MCL of his right knee, and it was actually going into his 18th. He's so early in that game. So he came back against the Montreal Canadiens, and I asked him how he was, and, you know, I said, boy, you look pretty good. Watch the game and everything. He said, I felt like 300 pounds. I said, you know, there's something special about you looking like or feeling like you're 300 pounds, because he looks anything but that. But it's a tough injury to come back from, because you think a little bit and your timing's off. And he talked a lot about timing. So we'll follow up on Alexander Mogilny in this game and see some of the little plays that he makes with his stick to tell whether or not the timing's really bad.
And they obviously need him very much, and the numbers back that up. With him, they're 9-10-1. Without, 4-10-3. Bill Muckall, along with Marcus Naslund, working in the offensive zone. Their team here with Harry York. Muckall won 2 NCAA titles with Michigan, including last season. Here's Naslund. That's free across the line. Tries to spin a backhand pass in front, but it's broken up first by Al McInnes, and a 2-line pass is called whistling down play. Well, coming up on ESPN2's National Hockey Night, Dominik Hasek and the Buffalo Sabres will invade Teemu Selanne and the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. 10:30 Eastern Time Wednesday night on ESPN2. Hasek has struggled a bit of late, After getting all those starts, we saw Dwayne Rollison come in for the Sabres and win one the other night. 10:30 Eastern Time, Sabres and Ducks on ESPN2's National Hockey Night.
Should be some good hockey. You know, Pavel Demitra has been known now as a really terrific offensive player, but this is the kind of play that really can impress your teammates and your coach. And he came back real hard on Marcus Naslund, who's been one of the real great surprises in the NHL this year. But nice job by Demitra coming back in his own zone.
Trent Platt battles along the far wall. McCabe throws it right in front. Tip right there by Brashear. And McLennan covers up. Donald Brashear on the doorstep nearly knocked home a goal to give Vancouver a 1-0 lead.
Well, that's a good deflection there, because everything seemed to be going from one side of the ice to the other. And the shot wasn't exactly, you know, on net. But when you look at it here and you stop it here, you've got everybody on one side. And then the deflection goes, and McLennan's got to really move quickly right back to his right. He's going towards his left, and then he's got to slide that leg out to the right. That's his first chance against him in this hockey game, and that is a tricky one. That's just not like a solid shot off the wing where you get your footing and your balance and your positioning. That was a tricky one. Good stop by Jamie.
Third shot officially for Vancouver. McCabe, big blast from the point, puck loose. Platt a whack at it, and again, Jamie McLennan will cover up. But this Vancouver line, mostly of checking forwards, applying some good pressure.
Well, good. It all starts from the shot from the point, and Dana Merzin's been inserted into the lineup after missing 25 straight. He's paired with McCabe, but the defensemen are getting the puck on net. And when you've got a line like this, some grinders and some bangers like Donald Brashear and Platt on the ice, I mean, basically you don't want to keep the puck on the perimeter. The job of the defenseman is to make sure you get the puck on net. So, I mean, Vancouver can have some success if you get this type of line getting her going, and Vancouver has had great success with their defensemen. They're the second highest team in the NHL in terms of offense from their D.
Platt directs a rebound just wide. Another big blast from McCabe. Brashear holds it in for the moment. McCabe not in that spot. He had vacated just at the wrong time, and the puck is cleared to the neutral zone. We'll talk about Dana Merzin. The last game he played November 7th against the Nashville Predators. Had an assist and was a +2, but a long break between. Long shift for this line. Platt knocks it in, and they'll probably change here. Sent through for Yake. Merzin still paired with McCabe. Ryan McCabe cross ice, trying to hit the Vancouver rookie Matt Cook, a center, just 20 years old, but it's all the way down ice and touched up for the icing call. Still no score, first period. Donald Brashear, good chance for the Canucks against St. Louis. 8:17 in our first period remaining. Welcome back, Dave Ryan, Darren Pang. So glad you could join us on ESPN2's National Hockey Night. Canucks and Blues. This is Brad May. He's been saddled with a very tough offensive start, and recently a healthy scratch for Mike Keenan's Canucks. Also coming back from a cracked bone in his left hand. It's been a rough start for him this year, too. Center ice shot from Brian Helmer was stopped late by Hirsch. He pokes it loose, and Young had a crack at it.
Matthias Olin there with a hit on Conroy. I think the fans were expecting it might be a hitting from behind penalty, but I think Olin went in there quite careful, and Conroy was very fortunate he wasn't closer to the boards.
Scott Young trying to stay on side, streaks it along the right wing. Broken up first though by Murray Barron. Matthias Olin tries to clear from O'Gilney, and Messier leads May the other way, stays onside, tries to flip it back to the captain, but it's eventually broken up by St. Louis. Here's Scott Pellerin. What a year he's had as well. A couple of big surprises offensively for St. Louis. He's won with 9 goals. Normally a checking forward has really come through in an offensive role for this team as well. And that's what it takes when you lose a Brett Hall, you lose a Steve Duchesne. A lot of guys have to pick up the slack. And keep in mind, too, that Jim Campbell's not had a good year. Well, more on the controversy involving all the sanctions with the New Jersey Devils. That's Mark Sauer, the CEO and president of the St. Louis Blues, on the right.
The Blues now must incur unprecedented penalties for these violations, which damage not only the NHL and the Devils, but now seriously damage the Blues.
The St. Louis Blues, Joel Quenneville's club, will have a payment of $1.5 million, $1.425 due to New Jersey, and $75,000 due to the National Hockey League, payable within 120 days, and that obviously began December 28th. And they've already asked for a little bit of a loaner as well, about $18 million. and roughly $70 million in the last 4 years from the ownership group here in St. Louis. But they're really trying to take care of the cost of this building right here, take care of the debt that they currently own. They do well here. They take care of their team, and they're trying to get rid of a real miserable period, a period in which Mike Keenan was here and Jack Quinn was here, and they made a lot of mistakes financially, and they're going to pay for that for some time to come.
Here's Naslund trying to force the action. Backhand try. McLennan is able to stick it down and then cover up with 6:34 to go in our first period. Well, from the frozen ponds to the green fairways, PGA Golf is back with a season-opening Mercedes Championships from Kapalua, Hawaii. Defending champion Phil Mickelson will be on hand to defend his championship. Coverage starts Thursday, 7:30 on ESPN. 4 days of coverage coming your way from the Mercedes Championships in Hawaii.
Oh, does that sound awfully good? I love that Mercedes Championship. That's just a great, great tournament in the fun season, huh?
We were there recently for a Michigan-Hawaii football game we saw on ESPN this year. Not easy to leave that place and come to the call. Penalty, though, has just been called.
Yeah, and a power play for Mark Messier's club. He struggled in his last 13 games. Mess has just 1 goal, but he's having a terrific, terrific season.
Ricard Persson is in the St. Louis penalty box. 2 minutes for holding the stick. So a minor call against the Blues here. And a chance for the Vancouver power play unit to draw first blood. Here's York across the line. Messier was streaking in behind McInnes, but at the last moment on back check, McInnes able to dig it out. Off referees skate. Good break as Bill McCreary in the wrong place for St. Louis. Keeps it in the offensive zone for the Canucks. Adrian Aucoin at the point in front. They go for York. Fans on it. He was taken down the low slot. McGillney barely keeps it in the offensive end. Marcus Naslund, Harry York, Mark Messier, McGillney, and Aucoin. Power play unit here for Vancouver. Aucoin, one-time drive right on net, and McLennan makes the pad stop. Aucoin with 8 power play goals this year, #1 amongst NHL defensemen. What a season this guy's had.
He's having a terrific year, and the setup here is all about one-timers, and the right-hand shot is the key. As Mark Messier works the puck from behind the net, you have to have patience. Now stop it right here. He's a left-hand shot, so he's kind of looking off, but this is the seam that he's going to go to, Marcus Naslund. There's a little bit of a seam there. You have to have patience in order to work the power play, and Marcus Naslund did an excellent job of buying some time and eventually getting it to Adrian Aucoin. The thing about that one-timer from Adrian Aucoin, it has to be a soft, feather-like pass to be able to take it. If it's rolling and bouncing and hopping, there's no way that Aucoin's going to be able to get that puck on net. Nice pass by Naslund.
Career year, to say the least, for Adrian Aucoin. He battles along the near wall along with Messier. Harry York keeps it alive. Marcus Naslund, team's leading goal scorer. He's got 19 tallies this year. Here's Michael Handzus, the rookie killing penalties. Trying to hit Eastwood along the far wall. Aucoin has to race to get back there in time. And Hirsch will leave off for the captain, Mark Messier.
Boy, has Adrian Aucoin ever come a long way. I mean, here's a guy that's a little inconsistent his first couple of years, but that's part of the process of being a defenseman in the NHL. And I think he now knows what it takes to be a player on a consistent basis in this league.
You saw the power play numbers. Penalty kill for St. Louis, pretty solid, especially on home ice. They've been good.
Whoa.
And free the other way. Pellerin, big shot, saved by Hirsch, who came way out on Scott Pellerin. Short-handed opportunity. McGillney trying to rake it free. Scott Pellerin, a thorn on the Vancouver side here on their power play try. Here's Al McInnes behind his own net. He sends it all the way down ice.
Boy, does Hirsch look confident coming out, taking out the angle. Corey Hirsch likes to give a little 5-hole and take it away. And so far in this game, that's all St. Louis has tried to do is go between his legs. When a goalie's on top of this game, you got to think of different areas. You got to go in other places, I think.
Ricard Persson out of the Blues penalty box. We're even, 5 aside. So an effective penalty kill by St. Louis. McCabe holds it in. His shot deflected off his stick there of Dimitra over the boards, out of play. Still in the first period.
You have probably sat at home many times and heard the phrase cutting down the angle. Watch what happens here. Scott Pellerin's on the left side. He's got his head down here. Stop it here. There doesn't seem to be that much room, and there's a good reason for that. Watch the way the goaltender sneaks out, sneaks out, sneaks out, sneaks out, and there's no room. I mean, by the time he shoots that puck, all he's seeing are big pads. I mean, Corey Hirsch's not a big guy, but when you play it smart like that, I mean, you can give a shooter nothing whatsoever, and Pellerin had nothing.
Here's Scatcherd along the near wall. Tries to regain. Hit hard there by Jamie Rivers and Hanzus.
I'm going to have to do that at that Heroes of Hockey game at the All-Star game. I got to cut down the angle. I got to start thinking stopping pucks.
He played that perfectly and shut down a good shorthanded try by Scott Pellerin. Even strength sketch. Trying to go around his man Rivers. And both got hit pretty hard. Jamie didn't mean to as he backed right into the far wall. Sent just wide of McClennan. And Hanzus along the near wing boards. Klatt intercept but couldn't tee it up. Dimitra reverses his tracks. He'll come the other way. And the play is whistled down offside. 3:36 to go here in the first period. Well, Thursday night, 8 o'clock. Tony Amani and the Chicago Blackhawks stop here in St. Louis to take on Grant Fuhr and the St. Louis Blues. ESPN2's National Hockey Night a few nights from now. Thursday, 8 o'clock, right here on ESPN2. Third straight ESPN2 National Hockey Night broadcast from the Kiel Center to check out the exciting Blues.
That's always a good tilt. The old proverbial throw the one win-loss column out the window when these two teams get together. Jamie Rivers got his stick on the boot, on the skate lace of Scatchard when Scatchard was going by. He might have got away with something little. Nice discreet little move by Rivers.
Good hit on Pellerin by McGillney. Young tries to get free the other way inside the circle. Pellerin cross ice for Pronger. Hits him a bit off stride and sent wide to the right of Corey Hirsch. Regained by St. Louis. Spun right in front. Loose man there. Wide open. Pellerin scores! Scott Pellerin knocks in a great feed, and St. Louis has taken a 1-0 lead. Conroy going cross ice for Scott Pellerin, his 10th of the year. What a pass.
Little bit of a breakdown in the Vancouver zone, but the Vancouver Canucks and Mark Messier are pleading their case to the referee Bill McCreary about a potential non-call on an offside situation. This is the conversation that they are having right now with Mark Messier. Pronger on the far side keeps the puck in, and the linesman was on the far side, and it's hard to tell. The linesman on the left side was blocking our view. The linesman on the right side was the linesman that waved it off with the no call, and then the play continued. I think that's a nightmare for a linesman too, because they don't want to take part in any decision in the hockey game, but from that point on, it was a real quick decision-making process and no chance for the goalie Corey Hirsch.
Scott Pellerin continues a brilliant offensive season. He's tied his career high. Set a couple years back with New Jersey. 10 goals for him. And here's Jim Campbell. That's center ice for Yate. Campbell gets the return feed. Just 1 goal this year for Jim Campbell, who had 22 last season. And from the blue line, McInnes sends it in. McInnes throwing it toward Hirsch, and a bad goal given up by the Vancouver goalie. It's 2-0, just like that, St. Louis.
Well, that's why when you lose players up front, you're very fortunate when you've got a guy like Al McInnes on the blue line. He's on the right point, number 2. Now, a poor attempt here by the Vancouver Canucks, a lack of communication, and this might have hit somebody in front. Adrian Aucoin was right there. The puck actually stuck right in the net, and it hit the stick of Adrian Aucoin, and then from that point on, it sticks right in the net. On the stick side, you see it right there. Holy jumping. Just stays right there. But McInnes just let her fly. He was very patient at the blue line. He didn't leave the offensive zone, and it was a bad clearing attempt by Vancouver, not going tape to tape, and it results in a goal against.
Flat works for McCabe, who sends it in front, but it's intercepted in the low slot. Second leading scorer on this team behind Pavel Dimitra, Al McInnes. That's another goal, and this is a 2-0 game. 2 goals in just 36 ticks. And that sends a team like Vancouver reeling. They had a game last week where they gave up 4 in the second period against Philadelphia on goals like that. Gar Snow got hammered after a good first period, and sometimes a bad goal can really send a team reeling.
Well, this one, though, is a hard one to say, bad goal or good goal, because first of all, he lets her fly on the off foot. You've got a guy right in front of you, and the bottom line here when you look at it, and I'm not defending the goaltender, but maybe in a way I am, but you've got your outlet pass. You're going post to post. Your defenseman or whoever makes a pass, you got 3 guys right there where the puck is, but it misses by 3 feet. And then it's, you know, Al McGinnis just lets her fly. So anytime he shoots it, it's a potential good scoring chance. And it's still tough to say, but I thought that might have hit the stick of Adrian Aucoin. But the point is, it's late in the period, too, and I understand exactly what you're saying. It's late in the period. They've given up one, and not even a minute later.
36
seconds later, they give up another goal. And now a scrap right here.
This is Ricard Persson and Cook.
Looks like, yeah, man.
The rookie.
I tell you, this is a good move by Cook, though. Visiting rink, down 2-0, trying to stir things up. He's a gritty little rookie that'll battle for you. And Cook only goes 5'11", although he's rock solid 200 pounds. Pearson, on the other hand, is 6'2", 210 pounds, a little bit bigger. And Pearson's played well for this hockey club, really, really well. Otherwise, Chris McAlpine would be back in the lineup, I'm sure.
Ricard Persson just recalled from Worcester recently when McAlpine went down with an injury. He will go to the Blues dressing room for the remainder of this first period with 1:27 to go.
Well, on the boards right near the St. Louis Blues bench is a little bit of a push. So they're just grabbing on, and Cook gives him a little bit of a left. And, oh, there goes the right. So the gloves are on now. Let's take the gloves off. See, Cook's left hand is taped up, so he's probably had a little bit of a sprain, or his hand has been turned over a little bit. And it's quite legal. If you had something on your hand and you got in a fight and that player was cut, then that would be a major penalty. Anyway, you got to give Cook a lot of credit, though, for getting in there, getting his nose in there, trying to change the fortunes of the tempo and momentum of this hockey game so far for them.
So the 11th goal of the year from Al McInnis gives the St. Louis Blues a 2-0 lead. His 98th career game against Vancouver after all those years in Calgary. Now it's 30 career goals against the Vancouver Canucks. And a tremendous Hall of Fame career for Al McInnis. Good hit at center ice. Elmer and May coming shoulder to shoulder. And McLennan takes no chances with 50 seconds to go here in the first period. Well, Keenan's team down already, a 2-0 haul. Looks like it'll stay that way unless they can mount an offensive threat in the final 50.
You know, something about Mike Keenan with the way he coaches and going in against former rinks. He's a very emotional guy, and I've been in that situation. As you look at the numbers of Mike Keenan going against his former hockey clubs, and I was with Chicago when we first went into Philadelphia. He just left Philadelphia, went to Chicago. Highly emotional, and for whatever reason, the teams don't respond against his former teams. And then you know that inside, it's killing you, because you want to go in and you want to make sure, well, obviously winning hockey games is the most important thing. But he hasn't had much success against the former squads.
Harry York and Yate. 227s take the draw to the right of McLennan. McCall tries to create some offense. Yate, dangerous pass cross ice behind defenseman Chris Pronger, but it's clear to the neutral zone by St. Louis. Final 35 seconds of this opening frame from the Kiel Center. Murray Barron to McCabe. There's York on the move, lost the handle. Naslund trying to break through. 2-man, almost able to squeeze off a shot. Comes to the near wall. Barron sends it there, but deflected wide by Naslund. McCall regains. Bill McCall centers, but no one home. Naslund was parked to the right in the low slot of McLennan. Along the near wall. Cleared down by Jim Campbell. Final 5 seconds. And McCabe makes the touch-up with 2 seconds even to go in the opening 20 minutes. We'll have one more face-off.
One more face-off, 2 seconds left. It wouldn't surprise me if Mike Keenan took out his goaltender, Corey Hirsch, in the final 2 seconds of this period. Get an extra man on the ice and see what can happen. Keenan hasn't looked over yet at Corey Hirsch. Yeah, I think he's given him a little bit of a nod here. Not quite sure if he will or not. And, yep, Corey Hirsch will go to the bench. And so the face-off becomes an important part here for the Vancouver Canucks. We're going to talk it over right here. Interestingly enough, Mike didn't have enough time. The hand of the referee was down. He couldn't make a last change. So Scatcherd, a right-hand shot, going to only 1 point man, Adrian Aucoin. Aucoin's right back here, that side of your picture, but it looks like he's going to the forehand anyway. Oh, there he goes, switch his mind. Good call.
Against the switch, Bashir regained, tried to send in a sharp angle shot that was knocked down by Al McInnis. He scored from the right point 36 seconds after Pellerin tallied to give the St. Louis Blues a 2-0 lead, and that's where we stand after 1 period on ESPN2's National Hockey Night. ESPN News Network takes over next. We'll talk college football, the NFL, and of course, the NHL here on ESPN2. Ran in a big way here in the second period. And we are back underway. A 2-0 St. Louis lead. Pellerin and McInnes scoring in the first frame. And that play is whistled down. A high stick face-off coming up.
Well, Joel Quenneville got the matchup he was looking for. Craig Conroy was on the ice of the even strength shift. 6 against Mark Messier as we take a look at the stats through one period of play. And the shots on goal fairly close. St. Louis with a slight edge. Scoring chances. When you look at St. Louis in their last game against New York, they lost the game 1-0. According to Joel Quenneville, they had 2 scoring chances against them. This is a team that rarely goes over 10 scoring chances in an entire game. They're very, very stingy that way in terms of shots and chances against.
May tries to control on the far wall and lost the handle. And it's regained by Pronger, St. Louis. Scott Young, a burst across the line, a big shot, and it's stopped by Hirsch. Laser beam right on net. Hirsch has got to make a save.
Well, playing at home and playing on the road. 2 different stories here. At home, the St. Louis Blues 9-5-3, and on the road 3 games below 500. The one thing Joel Quenneville has done so well since he took over here, he is 43-24-11 at home since he took over the St. Louis Blues, and his 26 wins last year at home, second best ever in the history of the St. Louis Blues. That's going back to 1967.
His win percentage right now is just second, not far behind Red Berenson's .569. That's the all-time win percentage leader in Blues coaching history. Sent to the near corner. That's where Pronger tries to poke it free, along with Brian Hilmer. And eventually Conroy comes loose for Pellerin. Those two able to combine with a great feed from Conroy to Scott Pellerin in the first period. And that gave St. Louis a 1-0 lead in this game. Elmer across the line, winds up, big shot, and a pad stop by Corey Hirsch. Dana Merzen along the near wing board, sends it down ice, and Vancouver finally makes a change.
Brian Helmer did a nice job of stepping up through the neutral zone, got a real good shot on goal.
Hanzus, good play up front as they again work the puck so well. The Slovakian line. Arteko tries to go in front for Michael Hanzus. Puck still loose. And it is ultimately covered up by Corey Hirsch. A reminder about ESPN.com's Sports Zone question for tonight. What is the biggest reason, in your opinion, for the Canucks struggles? Remember, they've lost 5 in a row. Mike Keenan, should he stay, should he go? He said maybe he should leave. The Papelbore situation, still no trade or no signing. And injuries to Alexander Mogilny, who is back. This is his second game, and Todd Bertuzzi still injured after breaking his leg in the early going this year. We'll announce those results tonight, third period here on ESPN2's National Hockey Night. Oh, look out as York just cross-checks and then boards his man. It's Hanzus who got crushed. And I'm sure Harry York will be penalized for that. Bill McCreary will come over and send York into the sin bin for at least 2.
Bill McCreary was at the far side when Hanzus was looking. Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. See, Harry York extends his arms, gives him a push straight into the boards. Now, the good thing is that Hanzus, and in fact, I think he got his hand on the boards before he actually hit it face first, and that really helped him. It's going to be a boarding call for 2 minutes to Harry York, the one-time St. Louis Blue player that, of course, Mike Keenan gave him an opportunity here. And at full speed, you see how quickly that can happen and how dangerous that play can be. But Harry York sits out, 2-minute penalty, big-time power play for the St. Louis Blues, already leading in this game by a score of 2-0. And this is their second power play of the game. They're 0 for 1.
2 shots on the first opportunity. So York is out. Yake is in for St. Louis. And he takes the draw here, along with Dimitra. And the play is whistled down. Just underway in the power play. The net off the pegs, and they will put that back on.
We mentioned about Mike Keenan just several days ago, talking about the situation and the dire straits that his team is in. Here's what Mike said. If we preach it and they don't do it, they have to fire the coach. When they work hard and don't get results and they stop listening to you, it needs a kickstart, a new coach. Told that to the Vancouver province. The players, though, really backed up Mike, talking about how passionate he is and that, no, we need Mike here. Bottom line is it gets pretty frustrating. And Brian Burke, their general manager, who's been watching the World Junior Championships, Brian Burke comes back, and he talks a lot about his coach, Mike Keenan. And at this point, he tries to stress that it's a patient game when dealing a player like Pavel Bure, and that may not be one of the strengths of a guy like Mike Keenan.
Guys like Brian McCabe been very outspoken, though. They want to keep Mike Keenan as coach. They realize, like you said, he's extremely emotional and has become frustrated as the rest of them with trying to get this thing back on track. Dimitri, full burst of speed across the line, and a blocker stop made by Hirsch into the near corner. Saw that one late. Longer cross ice. McKinnis winds a big shot, ripped it wide. Everyone gets on the edge of their seat here in St. Louis when big number 2 gets that stick back and winds up to crank a big slap shot. Chris Pronger for Yates. Back for Pronger. The captain thought about a shot. Here's Terry Yates. As the man floating through, and Dimitra. Hanzus out there as well, getting some time. McKinnis tries to keep it in, and it's finally cleared out to center ice. Under a minute left, power play time. Penalty kill change. Dimitra catches him on a change. Backhand try, stopped by Hirsch. And the net again goes off the pegs. That was Pascal Rayom, who went crashing into the left post.
And there was a reason for that. Dana Merzen from behind pushed him right into the net. And that's the reason why Rayom went down. Bad line change, though, by the Vancouver Canucks. On the left side of your screen, they're going to go for a line change, and one easy pass right up the middle. Keep your eye on the nice smooth pass by Pronger, right up the gut, and Dimitri's there all alone. Oh, he went to the backhand and fanned on it. Trying to get the puck up a little bit, just fanned on it, and that's where Merzen then fired Rayom into the net. Dimitri goes to the backhand, looks, see the way his follow through, goes up high, but the puck stays low. That's when you can tell a player fanned on the puck. And so the goaltender, Corey Hirsch, wasn't going to be fooled by that at all.
Pavel Dimitrov, as you can see, bidding for his 12th power play goal. The NHL, what a year this guy has had. 19 goals, 20 assists coming in. That ranks him 9th in the NHL in scoring. Paul Korea #1 with 47 points. And Dimitri's second in the league with 19 goals scored. Amani and Leclerc have 23 apiece. McCabe rips that high and wide over McClennan's right shoulder. 19 seconds left in the Blues power play try. Here's Jamie Rivers. Full head of steam across the line, trying to hit Campbell on the fly. Jim Campbell trying to work his way back in the Blue lineup on a regular basis. It's been a frustrating year for him. And Platt comes free at center ice. Put right on net and blocked away by McClennan in the final seconds. Platt does a good job to kill the final seconds of the penalty. Even strength. Platt trying to force in front. Has Naslund in the near corner. Marcus Naslund works down low. York back on the ice, and he centers, but it's covered up by Jamie McClennan. 16-12 to go. Vancouver dodging the power play bullet of St. Louis, but they're still down by a pair. Welcome back, everyone. 16-12 to go in our second period. Even strength. Dimitri clears out the center ice. From the blue line, he'll send that in. Wide to the right of Hirsch. Eastwood follows up. Eastwood for Michael Hanzus. A line shuffle here from Joel Quenneville's Blues. Slovakian line broken up, at least for now. The job they've done in recent games. Brett Hedigan tries to come free for Vancouver. He leads Naslund the other way. On the fly, York. Tied up nicely by Pavel Dimitrov. In two ways. Shots on goal, good for St. Louis in this game, and the score does as well. In front, good move again. St. Louis getting the offensive zone, doing a great job. Lubos Barteko, the rookie from Slovakia. Only played in a handful of games, but he's been very impressive for head coach Joel Quenneville. Naslund wheels the other way. He'll glide across the blue line and look for help. Naslund's quick shot snapped right on net. And McClennan covers up after knocking it down. John Butchergrass, you have an update for us. Boston, Calgary.
That's right, Dave. Let's go to the Fleet Center. Steve Hines between the circles, waiting, and nothing but net. A good night for the Bruins. They lead 4-1 in the third.
All right, John, thanks. Good night so far for the Bruins. McLennan keeping the shutout going there, but not easily.
Doing a nice job because Marcus Naslund is pretty quick and a good cutback move, trying to create a better scoring angle. And it handcuffed Jamie for just a second, and then it dropped to his left. He was very alert and covering it down before Al McGinnis got tripped up right in front of him.
Well, Naslund putting on the pressure follows his form of his 19 goals. 8 have come in the second period this year, but not nearly as many goals away from home ice in Vancouver than he's done on the road so far.
Finish up on the support that the players have been given Mike and as their coach and coming out publicly and defending him. Here's what Mark Messier had to say. Months after Mogilny and Bertuzzi went down, we find ourselves in a playoff spot. There's not another guy in hockey that could have put us in this position right now. And it's interesting what goes on and the motivation that a guy tries to get from within when he doesn't have any other resources.
Conroy works in front again, trying to hit Scott Pellerin for a chance. Here's Mogilny zipping through the neutral zone. Tries to go around Pronger. That's no easy task with that long stick and great defensive skills Chris Pronger possesses. Alexander Mogilny tied up by Pronger along the end boards. It's cleared out. Pellerin and Scott Young. Two-man pass play, and they'll dump it in. Line change for St. Louis. 5.5 into our second period. 2-0 St. Louis lead.
Rare shift here. Tony Twist and Kelly Chase on the same line. Mike Eastwood in the middle. Joel Quenneville uses Mike Eastwood a lot, though, as a right winger on other lines. He gets him really involved, so it increases the minutes of Eastwood. This line, if they were to stay together, they wouldn't get a whole lot of ice time during the course of a game.
Dan Merzen reverses for Matthias Olin, and he'll control his own goal line. Shovels that into the seats, and it is out of play. We've got boxing coming up on ESPN2. Vinny Pazienza and Unro White slugged it out in a 10-round super middleweight bout on this week's edition of Friday Night Fights presented by Budweiser. In addition, classic fight footage of the best pound-for-pound boxers in history. All the latest boxing news and information. Friday, 8 o'clock, right here on ESPN2, Friday Night Fights.
Well, they're still in the hunt. Mike Keenan, the one thing you've got to say in the situation that he is, when he came out publicly and said that about firing the coach, the bottom line is if he's there and he's 100% committed into coaching the team, then that's different. If you've got a coach back there that's going to quit at any point in the juncture of the season, you can't have that, because the players there on Vancouver now, a team that has been besieged by different situations, they work their tails off. And even if you're not winning, you have to applaud them for that. And so as long as he's there and giving his 100% and not packing it in, then he seems to be the right guy for this group of guys, because they're getting used to him. And they're playing, you know, they're playing under the circumstances anyway. On any given night, they can play hard hockey.
13-20-4 on the year. Right now in 9th place out of the playoffs as we speak, but not far out, just 1 point. Rivers hit hard there by Cook, and it is an icing afterwards. Cook again mixing it up. So the 20-year-old rookie has gotten involved in a couple skirmishes in this game.
Well, that'd be interesting. Kelly Chase, one of the great team players in the game of hockey. Very quick and very alert and coming to the aid of his teammate. And don't forget, Cook had a little bit of a bout there late in the first period. Cook went Ricard Pearson and got 5 minutes at 18:33 of the first period. At real speed, it comes in quite quick right at you here. And Cook pushed him right from behind Rivers and gave him a shove at the very end on a delayed icing call. And that's where the argument goes. You know, there's a lot of pro experts out there saying that, you know, once the puck crosses the red line, just blow the whistle down. That was a good example of why maybe that should happen and why that's been successful in college hockey. Quite a battle for the loose puck anyway. And keep your eye on those guys, because now Cook's got the attention of Chase, and once you've got the attention of Chase, then you got the attention of Twist as well. And so you got to keep your head up.
Pascal Rayon will take the draw with Skatcher. McInnes, one-time drive, sent that well wide. Merzen on the far wing board. Try to clear out the sheer, nearly intercepted, but it went right into the face of Terry Yake, and down he goes.
Oh boy! Well,
oh yikes!
He wears a visor, and so, I mean, the good news is it takes away the potential part of eye injury. The bad news is your teeth are right there. And that flip up, that little hoister right there by Bashir, trying to clear his zone, not able to do so. Yake's down, but the Blues are up.
2-0 game, 13:21 to go in our second period. Yake apparently all right. Attended to on the Blues bench. Here's McKay. We saw him at the team hotel elevator today going to the game. He said, hey, this is time for us to break out of it right here and now. And expected the team to come out with a lot of jump tonight, he said, but early goal scored by Pellet on a beautiful feed from Greg Conroy across the line. Yake apparently feeling fine. In front, a great play to Campbell, who scores from Rayom. Jim Campbell, what a pass from Rayom, and Campbell finishes his second goal of the year, and that's got to be a big weight off his shoulders.
I guess so. Well, Joel Quenneville said this is his opportunity to get out of a funk. It all starts in their own zone, where the Vancouver Canucks allow the St. Louis Blues to break out. A nifty little play by Yake as he comes off the bench after getting hit by the puck. Takes the pass over to Pascal Rayom, and breaking down the right side is Jim Campbell, who's a right-hand shot. But Yake does an excellent job taking McCabe towards him, feeding it over to Rayom. Rayom's got his head up all the way. And Dana Merzen, maybe a little rusty from not playing, allowed Jimmy Campbell to go right to the net unscathed. I mean, not even touched. An easy little tip in there for Jimmy Campbell. But what a play from their own zone to get the breakout all the way to the offensive zone.
Yake started the whole thing. Rayom, a tremendous feed, and Campbell finishes for his second of the year. Joe Quenneville said he wanted to see him play with a burning desire after sitting out 4 as a healthy scratch. 4 straight games. Well, there's your answer. Hanzus with Barteco and Pavel Demitra. McInnes winds up, thought about a shot. Oh! The man was wide open. Barteco for the rebound, but it went wide. Barteco, the rookie, spins back for Demitra. Finally, Vancouver and Bill Muckall break it up. Across the line, trying to feed in front, had York wide open. No one there to cover him. Right was broken up first. And the net nearly knocked over, but somehow stays on the pegs. Here's Demitra across the line. He's got Hanzus with him. Now a line change, so Demitra just got to spin that in, and he'll come off ice.
Great coverage by Al McGinnis in his own zone. I mean, he's so underrated inside his own hash marks. Always doing the right thing. He broke up that play.
Conroy, Blues are flying. Young trying to get off a shot in between the circles, and it's broken up by Olin at the last moment. Here's Brad May. Good burst across the line. Dumps it in along the near wall. Someone's lost the stick. May has lost the lumber. Conroy cross ice. Young. Good burst for Scott. Young was in, and it's stopped by Hirsch in the last moment. Thrown on the ice. Hirsch knocked it away. Kept alive by Pellerin. Young back to Pellerin. Off the post. Good attempt again from Scott Pellerin. The Blues smell blood in the water. They're going for the kill here. Lots of pressure from St. Louis. Young for Conroy. This line has been tremendous tonight, creating chances. Oh. Young sent that right on. He was being hit by Mark Messier. Hirsch doesn't know what's hit him. It's 3-0 St. Louis. They continue to pour on the pressure as Jim Campbell breaks out with a big goal tonight.
Well, the weather outside, very cold, and inside they're playing a little pond hockey here. The St. Louis Blues putting on an offensive exhibition against a very porous defensive unit right now in Vancouver. Young had a great chance off the right wing, and then after that, another good chance by Pellerin went off the post. You talk about taking advantage of the neutral zone. One thing to look at is how Vancouver keeps backing up and allowing easily the St. Louis Blues to gain the neutral zone and then gain the offensive zone.
We saw the chances, 11-4 for the Blues.
Pellerin has a chance as well with some great puck handling, movement, and motion by the St. Louis Blues. Really the sign of a confident team with the puck. And so the Blues here, Pellerin fakes the shot, goes to the right side to Young, right back to Pellerin, then he just lets her rip off the far post as Corey Hirsch is out of position. And trust me, that went off the post on the far side and went wide after that.
He's been hot. Scott Pellerin, suddenly an offensive force. Now the goal for Jim Campbell is first since November 11th in a 6-2 loss to the Red Wings. And just his second of the year. That's got to feel great for the youngster from Worcester, Mass.
There should be no surprise to Pellerin because he has hands, and he's proven that at every level that he's played the game in. Sometimes when you break into the NHL, you're cast as a defensive player, but I call it a responsible player. He knows his own end, but he still has, obviously, you know, that kind of ability, the hands to make plays.
Cave off the glass along the near wing wall. Ahead to Matt Cook. And a rookie crosses the line with Steos. McAllister on this line with him. Bird, make it! McAllister can play both defense and a forward slot for Mike Keen's Canucks. Steve Steos for Boston Bruin. Hit hard along the near wing boards. Jamie Rivers racks him up with a good check. Chase and Twist along with Mike Eastwood seeing some time here. You got to wonder if perhaps Joe Quenneville thinks things might get a bit chippy now the lead is up to 3 goals. Hennigan across the line, feeding in front. Good play, sent just wide by Trent Platt. He tried to chip the backhander by McLennan. Penalty coming up as Chase tripped up Brashear, and Donald Brashear helps draw that penalty against St. Louis. As soon as the Blues, if they can touch up. Hennigan trying to keep that puck away from Pascal Rayon, but Bill McCreary has got a call. And a power play for Vancouver. Interference. John Butchergross has a hurricane watch for us. John, what do you have?
Dave, after Ranheim, Francis Primo, Battaglia made it 4-0 Carolina in the first, back come the Sens, Jason York, and they're going to overtime. 4 unanswered goals by Ottawa.
John, you got to love that Ottawa squad. Speaking of great weather, growing up in Ottawa, the great Rideau Canal. If you ever get a chance to get there, it is the longest hockey rink that you'll ever see. You know, the bad news is they don't allow hockey sticks there. I used to hate that. You know, you want to play hockey, and they didn't allow you to play hockey. You have to find a little area off to the side. Canucks power play now. Their second power play. Huge opportunity for Mike Keenan's squad to get back in the game, trailing 3-0. Still lots of time left, though. Half a hockey game left to go.
McCabe, he'll blast that around the boards, or at least try to. Takes a deflection and was searing high into the seats here at the Kiel Center. Apparently, a fan able to knock it down without too much damage. Face-off coming up.
Billy McCalt has had a terrific freshman year in the NHL. Last year, playing for Red Berenson's squad at Michigan, had 32 goals. His 4 years there, 105 goals and 226 points. He leads all rookies right now anyway in the NHL. That'll be a tough race, though. A real tough race. And if you notice, rookies in the NHL, has ever gone down on scoring? I mean, remember the days, I mean, it wasn't long ago that I broke in that Joe Nieuwendyk scored over 50 goals in his rookie year.
McCall tries to wrestle it away from Pronger. We're checking out that University of Michigan hockey website today. They've got 12 players, former Wolverines, who've seen action either regularly or part-time in the NHL this year, including Billy McCall. That is quite a tradition they've built up in Ann Arbor, and winning a couple titles in the last 3 years doesn't hurt either. They've won 9 overall in Michigan. Here's Naslund at the goal line, trying to create here power play chance. A coin out there, as we said, what a great year he's had on power play.
Oh, nearly too many men on the ice for St. Louis. Pellerin was going for a line change. Eastwood was coming out, and Pellerin changed his mind and stayed on.
McCall behind the net for Naslund. Try to feed out to the point. Instead, St. Louis breaks it up. McCoy cannot hold it in the zone. And again, the Canucks have got it clear. But a giveaway, a bad change. McKinnon comes free across the line, looking for some help. Short-handed try. Still no one there for Vancouver. Pronger is going to lurk in the low slot, maybe look for a feed.
If you short-handed situation, you got Pronger and McGinnis both at the goal line of the Canucks. Man, Vancouver, what a poor line change that was.
So Coyne shovels it in. Backhand play around the boards. Caught by May there. Then he catches a big check from Pronger and goes down hard.
There's some confusion over there on the bench. And you have to wonder what's going on there. They might be reeling down 3-0, but they only had 4 on the ice for about 5-6 seconds.
Final seconds. Chase out of the penalty box. And is cleared, and we're even strength at 5 aside. Messier can't wrestle it free from Ricard Persson. Here comes Dimitrov. Full burst of speed across the line. In front they go, and sent just wide. And afterwards, Brett Hennigan and Chase will exchange some unpleasantries. But play continues. Here's McGillney. On the full fly, trying to hit Brad May, but it was broken up first. And comes into the near corner. Things could get chippy here with Vancouver down by a hat trick. Yake across the line, looks for help. Instead takes it himself. And broken up by Matthias Olin. Scatchard cruising through the neutral zone across the line, but Brashear is offside. Ricard Persson at St. Louis in control. A 3-0 lead on Vancouver. More coming up.
Man, there has been at least 3, 4, 5 bad line changes by the Canucks, and times in which St. Louis has had the puck, and it's resulted in pretty good scoring chance, at least odd man breaks going through the neutral zone. And it tells you, you know, there's a couple of things. Something's going on there on that bench where there's not a lot of communication, where players aren't sure if they're the next ones out, and the communication's such an important part. And I know this being a backup goalie for a lot of times. You're on the bench, and you know if it's getting quiet there. And one of the things about Mike that these players have insisted hasn't happened, and that is that in the past with teams, he gets frustrated. And when he gets frustrated, he tends to get real quiet. And as players have said, quit. And he looks real quiet, looks real unemotional behind that bench. I think the last goal in the first period, they really took a little bit out of the emotion of their club, and you can see how fragile they are. They've got to do something to get it back.
My goodness,
man,
what a hit that was.
Good hit.
Pavel Demitra got crushed by Scatchard.
Look at that, Bergevin
and
right
behind
to
the
him.
play, Bergevin and Scatchard.
Whoa!
Toe-to-toe, here we go. Look out. Big fight. Bergevin lands 2 big right crosses to Dave Scatchard.
Oh!
And down they go. My, oh my, what a fight. It all started with a tremendous hit by Scatchard on the team's leading scorer. Pavel Demitra got steamrolled over there in the far wall.
What a way to counter the big hit by Scatchard. I mean, that's what you want. That's what you want your players to do. On home ice, man, this place, we're hearing some noise here. It's been so quiet. Scatchard comes out. He's only doing what he has to do. Comes out trying for a big hit. The shift before Scatchard came out had a real good burst of speed through the neutral zone, but it was an offside play. Keenan throws him right back out there. Scatchard's cut over the left eye because Mark Bergevin, who was just defending his teammate, the same thing that Kelly Chase was doing on the shift earlier than that, trying to combat what the Vancouver Canucks were trying to accomplish, and that is stir things up. On the left side of your screen, Scatchard comes in. Did he leave his feet a little bit? Because if he left his feet, that's where you get the charging situation. But at the same time, Demitra was down quite low as well. He was hunched over, Demitra was. But certainly Mark Bergevin, who was right there, took exception to that. These guys are chomping at the bit.
Wait,
you know, Kelly Chase was chomping at the bit earlier, and Twist and Chase on the ice at the same time. Yeah, that's the response you want from your players, though. Scatchard just trying to go in there and stir things up, get things going a little bit. Now, does he leave his feet? Yeah, he leaves his feet. He leaves his feet a little bit. But the one thing you have to keep in mind is that Demitra is going to be a target of the opposition. That's part and parcel with being one of the best players on your team offensively. And I think Demitra knows that. He's a tough kid. He's 6 feet, he's 195 pounds, and he's strong on his feet. And right now, it's comfortable. Welcome back to the Kiel Center here, where Dave Scatchard is going to receive, right here, he's going to receive the final penalty. Scatchard 5 minutes for boarding, which he came in on an angle, and then it seemed like it's probably worse than what it was. I mean, the part when he left his feet a little bit, but you got to keep in mind Demitra was down too. I mean, 5 for fighting also. Bergevin gets 2 for instigating, 5 for fighting, and a 10-minute misconduct penalty.
You saw Pascal Rayom serving for Bergevin. He is gone into the Blues room. So we'll have 4-on-4 for about 3 minutes, and then a chance power play for St. Louis. 2 minutes for the first 4-on-4, then 3-minute power play for the Blues. McGillney winds up, big shot saved by McLennan, and a rebound swept away by Chris Pronger.
It'd be nice to see McGillney get things going here. He doesn't seem to be in this hockey game, and I mean, I know it's tough coming back, but right now 3-0 is not that great a deficit.
Look out! It's McGillney and Pellerin going together with a big hit at the blue line. Twice in this game, McGillney has teed off on Scott Pellerin with huge hits. Conroy across the line. Here's Pronger, sends it right on. Very high, though, and glove down by Corey Hirsch. So a minute left of the 4-on-4. And 3 minutes of power play time for St. Louis. Scatcher trying to get his team going. Ends up hurting his team. Here's Young. Big shot. Whipped it wide. He missed the net, but had a lot of heat on that slap shot from the left wing. Now Young regains in between the circles in his own zone. Got Young still controlled. Broken up by Nassau. He's been held pretty much in check tonight by St. Louis defensively. And one shot he ripped off at the beginning of the second period. Giveaway. York. Naslin. Big shot. Saved by McLennan. Marcus Naslin, point blank. Had a one-on-one shot in the low slot and was denied by McLennan. Here's Eastwood. Snuffed out on the near wall. Hit hard there by Billy Muckall. And at the red line, he cannot regain. Olin. To wait till his teams get onside. His teammates tries to send that in front for Messier. Bouncing puck, still loose, and McLennan is able to cover up with the glove. Not easily, though, as Messier right there on the doorstep, trying to create a chance for Vancouver.
No, Helmer brought it right back to his goaltender. Jamie McLennan was down with the paddle of his stick along the ice, and smart move by Helmer to just nudge it behind. Before that, though, Al McGinnis said, you don't see this very often. In his own zone, as Vancouver's trying to cross his zone, it looked like St. Louis in real good shape, and they are right here. McGinnis turns up, trying a little heel-to-toe little pass, and it's intercepted easily. Naslin gets a great one-timer, and an excellent save by Jamie McLennan. Real good save. Here's the hit you were talking about. Oh, man. Well, when McGillney said he felt like he weighed 300 pounds in his first game back after 17 and a half games gone, now he's hitting like a 300-pounder. It's uncommon to see a play like that from Mogilny, but trying to get himself into the game maybe, and Pellerin had his head down, so it's a pretty darn good hit by Mogilny.
Now long power play for St. Louis underway. Yake. Wrapped up there by McCabe. Pascal Rayon, he's hit hard from behind. Merzen sent him to the end boards. What could have been called, Bear Mercury, though, did not do so. Our referee tonight. Here's Dimitra at the left point. He's got McInnes with him. He sends it down low, trying to work in front. They score! Pascal Rayon knocks in the rebound. A power play goal, and St. Louis has taken a 4-0 lead on Mike Keenan's Canucks.
Well, Pascal Rayon just hung in there and hung in there. And if no one's coming towards you and you get a kick at it the second time around, left side of your screen, Pascal Rayon, the first shot, a little stuff shot to the right, still untouched, still untouched. Finally, McCabe's coming back to take him out of the play, but by that time, he's got an easy one into the far side of the net. Corey Hirsch went too far to his left and left a lot of the net on the far side open, but Pascal Rayon, give him credit. He knew he was going to get hit. He hung in there, kept his feet planted, and got his 5th goal of the season, a power play tally. They're now 1 for 3 with the man advantage.
Dimitra and Yake, helpers on the goal from Pascal Rayon. Beginning of this season, he signed a new contract. There was a time he wasn't sure if he'd be back with the Blue, and Larry Flo, the GM here in St. Louis, glad to have him aboard. Then the question was what kind of player he becomes. Second liner, third liner. And they'll take the offense, and it's a 4-0 lead. Yake with no one near him will just regain on the far side.
Terry Yake's having a good game as well. He's got a couple of assists. He assisted on Campbell's goal and now Rayon's goal. But give Dimitra plenty of credit too, Dave. He sets it up from that point position.
Still a power play. Dimitra tried to get a shot off, was hit from behind. Murray Barron knocked him down. Rivers sends around the boards. Kept alive by Yake initially. Here's Dimitra. Still power play time for St. Louis. And Rivers' pass cross ice is broken up by York. Fans here in St. Louis chanting something not so kind for the former coach Mike Keenan.
I think they're just saying he stinks.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well said. Brad May. Shorthanded, still a minute 13 of power play time for St. Louis after the 5-minute boarding call against Dave Scatcherd of Vancouver. And the Fighting Major as well. Scott Pellerin cross ice for Conroy. He is offside, so he's got to wait until Vancouver can clear it. Merzen will send it all the way down ice. Bouncing puck One of the toughest shots that Glennon has had to face here in the second frame. Not many threats. Look forward. Great move. St. Louis into the offensive end again. Now McInnes can still get it done. Great skater as well, along with that cannon for a shot. Here's Young. They set up the power play again. McInnes winds up inside the circle, a big drive. Knocked away by Hirsch. Fans want to see another one. Chris Pronger at the point for Young, walks in. Young shot, rebound. Conroy stopped by Hirsch. Craig Conroy was robbed of a potential 5th goal of the night from St. Louis. So coming up here on ESPN2, Darren, the New Dodge Intermission Report. ESPN News will take over. Ducks, led by the NHL's leading scorer, Paul Kariya, taking on Nashville tonight. NBA season, what's going to happen? With the National Basketball Association, they'll tell you on ESPN News. The New Dodge Intermission Report comes up next.
Well, Young has a nice quick snapshot to the far side. Good left pad save by Corey Hirsch. Then the rebound by Conroy. You know, Corey Hirsch isn't quitting, that's for darn sure. He's battling it out here. And that's a good sign as he's faced 25 shots by the Blues. The Canucks have only had 13 shots against. And don't forget, oh, Mike Keenan's making a goaltending change right here. I don't know, to me, this move here, and I can say this because I've been through many of these moves from Mike Keenan, but Garth Snow is going to come in, and this is a message, in my opinion anyway, to the team. This isn't a message to Corey Hirsch whatsoever. Corey Hirsch is standing on his head. Corey Hirsch is making big saves. But I got to tell you something, no matter what the message is, does it stink leaving the net? I mean, Corey Hirsch is getting on a roll. And that's tough to say when you're down 4-0, but he is playing some good hockey. So, I mean, I can't read Mike Keenan's mind, but being in that situation as many times as I've been in the situation, watched other goalies be in that situation, Corey's going to leave his mask on. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if Corey Hirsch comes back and starts the third period, or if there's a quick whistle that he comes back in. I'm not quite sure. But it certainly hasn't been a Corey Hirsch story. He's been terrific.
8th time this year there's been a goalie change in game for Vancouver. McInnes winds, big shot. Snow has got to face the first shot, of course, from Al McInnes, who's got the best slap shot in the NHL.
Yeah, Corey's going to go back in as well. You know, I was just thinking about that. How would you like to be Garth Snow sitting on the bench, and then you're looking at the howitzer by Al McInnes on the power play? And just as suspected, Mike Keenan was trying to give the defensive unit a little bit of a break right there. So instead of calling a timeout, he just pulled the goalie, and it's a good way to buy a little bit of time anyway. And I think Garth Snow realized what was going on as well. So you just have to be prepared. If you're going to be the backup goaltender for Mike Keenan's squad, you just have to be ready all the time. You're always sort of thinking and visualizing, and instead of just sitting there.
11 seconds still left in the power play. St. Louis in the offensive zone. McInnes' pass across ice goes beyond the blue line. Broken up by Naslin and poked away by Ricard Persson. Came the intercept. Penalty is over. Cook was serving for Skatcher on that long 5-minute major call. Billy McCall and Naslin work in the offensive zone along with York. McCabe tries to keep it alive. Instead, it comes away to St. Louis. Here's big Tony Twist. The twister across the line. Got Eastwood with him. Shot and a save by Hirsch. Tony Twist bidding for one. Why not? Everything else has gone well for them. Here's an on-man rush. Billy McCall trying to get free. Puck still loose, and it's poked away. Tony Twist.
That was a good setup, though, by his line mate. Kelly Chase made a great outlet pass from just inside his blue line. And then Eastwood played it over to Tony Twist, who made the right play. When you're that close, fire the puck and see what happens. Good shift.
Final seconds, second period. Matt Cook wrapped up nicely by Chris Pronger, and Yade comes free. The boys, a big hit from the big man out there. Chris McAllister at 6'7". And there's the horn. Period number 2 complete. It has been all St. Louis. Jim Campbell, first time in 5 games he's dressed, gets his 2nd goal of the year. And Pascal Rayom had a helper on the Campbell goal and a goal of his own. Coming up next, the New Dodge Intermission Report here on ESPN2's National Hockey Night. It is all St. Louis from the Kiel Center for Zip on Vancouver Center in downtown St. Louis. Occhioli tries to strip Scott Young. And Conroy chips it cross ice for his captain, Chris Pronger. He'll blast that high Around the boards. Off the glass, and it drops down the near corner. Young on a forecheck tries to create. Scott Pellerin, he's had a big game so far. Along with Craig Conroy and Young have all played well. This line has been very effective. Messier tries to shove Young away from the puck and along the near wing boards. Again, St. Louis applies pressure and keeps it in the offensive end. Good opportunity again for St. Louis as they continue to just control the whole tempo of play.
Yeah, and there's been some hitting in this game as well. Some of it quite dangerous. Harry York's hit from behind there on Pascal Rayom, who's been a big part of the game. A little nudge there from big Chris Pronger, and Alexander Mogilny getting into the fun there with the hit on Pellerin. At the end of the period, Dave Scatchard with a 5-minute major, which was, well, I mean, there's different ways to look at it. I thought that was more on the angle, and if anything, a charge for leaving his feet. The hits, Canucks 25, the Blues 14. The interesting part is that Alexander Mogilny's line has been schooled so far in this hockey game. Mogilny's line, the line that's supposed to give you some offense, the Pellerin line, Conroy line, the checking line for St. Louis have outplayed them offensively. So not only doing a great job defensively, but outplaying them. More emotion, more grit in the offensive zone.
Now, as Helmer's blast, it was stick to side into the far corner. Helmer then tries to recover against Brad May. Icing waved off. Messier shoves Hanzus away, and here's Pavel Demitra in the near corner. Murray Barron runs into him, and again, Vancouver cannot maintain possession. Lubos Barteko, the rookie. He'll get the return feed. They try a two-time pass in front. Not one, but two passes as they go tic-tac-toe with it. And Lubos Barteko almost able to go cross ice, and Demitra to cash that one in. Slick passing from the Slovakian line. Helmer spins it away from trouble. Here's Pavel Demitra. And Brian Helmer has recently picked off waivers from the Phoenix Coyotes. He was going back and forth between Las Vegas and the IHL and the big club in Phoenix. And he has played well enough. One reason they decided to dump Todd Gill and put him on waivers, eventually picked up by Detroit. Helped fill the void when Gill was not performing up to Joe Quenneville's standards. Campbell keeps him in the offensive end. Carrier tries to regain, and it'll come out again to center ice. Flatt tries to lead the charge the other way, but the play is offside and whistled down. 17:43 to go in our third period.
Well, you can be sure here in the third period with Vancouver, a listless hockey club, they're going to take some chances. Stop it right here, guys. Stop it if you can right here, because we got 1, 2, and 3 guys. They were all caught deep, pinching in one after another. Now St. Louis, a 3-on-1 break. This should have been a goal, and this was all set up. And Barteko, oh, I'm sorry, that's Hanzus on the far side. He just didn't have his stick strong enough on the puck on the offside. And otherwise, that's another sure goal. They've had a lot of those plays. They've capitalized on the open ice and the space that the Vancouver Canucks have given them. I've seen Vancouver play a lot of games on the dish, and I've watched them play. And there's been games where I've been saying, boy, that, you know, there's not much there. There's a lot of young kids. There's a lot of youth, but there's a lot of enthusiasm. I tell you, this one here is just a, I don't know, I say listless. I know they've tried to be aggressive, but the odd man breaks. This is part of maybe being over enthusiastic at times and not playing your position. I mean, Mike Keenan's teams have always been this way. They've always been a two-man in, I mean, highly aggressive puck pursuit team that, you know, if you make one mistake or there's one breakdown or one guy misses check, you're going to have odd man breaks going the other way. If it's working and it's on all 12 cylinders, then you're going to have success because you're going to be putting a lot of pressure on the team that has the puck.
It is not working well.
No, but it's a clinic for St. Louis. This is one of those fun games to be in. I think if you're a forward or a defenseman that wants to jump up in the play, you're going to get your chances.
They will here in the third period, so let's keep an eye on that. Brad May, cross ice. Call trying to tee it up and couldn't regain, and barely offside was Pavel Demitra into the offensive zone for St. Louis as they continue to maintain this 4-goal lead.
You mentioned it a couple of times about the Slovakians being put on the same line, and we can't pound it in hard enough when you've got a team like St. Louis that, you know, they haven't had a lot of high draft picks. They've lost, you know, Steve Duchesne, they've lost Brett Hull, and then you've got, you know, this line here with Barteko, Hanzus, and Demitra. You know, in the last 9 games, including this game tonight, they've got a point, 23 points. So, I mean, they're doing it for Joel. And, you know, maybe not household names right now, but in a couple of years, they stay together. This could be one of the real terrific lines, young lines in the NHL.
And Pavel Demitra with a 19 goals, 20 helpers coming in. Keep in mind, the 227th draft pick. Back in 1993 by Ottawa. Can you believe it? What a great player he has blossomed into. Some will call him a late bloomer. That's what Mike Keenan says about him. Tremendous player. This year especially has taken on the offensive load.
Can you believe he was traded for Christer Olsen?
Yeah, exactly. That would be a steal.
Happens, yep.
In front. Again, Pellerin trying to tee something up and get loose for another goal. That'd be his second if he could convert. Helmer will chip it in and a line change for St. Louis. They've got a big cushion, 4-goal lead here in the third period. Tatum Merson sends that in along the end boards. Regained by McGillney. Try to feed in front for Cook, who was tripped up from behind. Good play by Rivers on back check, and McKinnon cruising through the neutral zone. A big drive. And a pad stop by Corey Hirsch. It's dangerous from anywhere off the stick of Al McKinnon. Deflected to center ice and regained by McKinnon in his own end. St. Louis trying to win its 6th straight game in this series head-to-head for the Vancouver Canucks. As we said last year, 16-4 they outscored them. So they'll continue in the first of 4 regular season meetings to dominate this team. Look out, Campbell is free across the line. Nubbed it, didn't get much on it. And Matthias Solon got back just in time to get a piece. Campbell bidding for his 2nd goal. Helmer tosses down low and Olden. They try to bring it out along with Trent Platt. He chips to center ice. Regained by Pronger. Doubles cross ice for Helmer. And here's Adrian Aucoin, who's not been much of an offensive threat. That's one of the few times he's been shut down this year. We mentioned his great numbers this season. They got some firepower. Billy McCall, you mentioned, the best rookie scorer in the NHL. 12 goals this year. Here is from a sharp angle. This shot misses the net. The former University of Michigan star has played well. Points had a big year. Naslin has come up huge. Messier leads them in scoring. McGillney is back. McCall, nice hit, center ice. But defensively, it's been a problem.
Man, oh man, that's so strong. You're talking about Billy McCall, pretty strong on his feet. You got Chris Pronger came at him with speed, going, sort of playing defense going forward, hit him hard, and it was Pronger that went down. Pretty tough to get this big fella down.
Hey, we're the McKenzie brothers, eh? And we're here to stop a heinous crime.
Yeah, they're sending Molson Canadians south of the border instead of our house where it belongs.
But we got a plan, eh?
Step out of the truck, please, sir. We offer a complimentary breakfast and free donuts, eh? How about a little deodorant for those long, stinky rides?
Au revoir, eh? Try putting it in low, eh?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm gunning it.
Like winter conditions.
Play back underway. Steve Stayhouse along the near wall tries to regain for Vancouver in a 4-0 hole here on ESPN2's National Hockey Night. Now McKinnon. He will lead Hanzus the other way for Terrier. That's center ice. He'll dump in. Yake heads off. Complete the Slovakian line. And Lubos Bardeko is back out. McAllister the other way. Feeding cross ice for Stayhouse. Couldn't tee it up. Sharp angle play, and it was knocked down. Comes to Michael Hanzus. Oh, loose puck. Demitra nearly got a gift as Brett Hennigan had problems with a bouncing puck. And it nearly came right to the stick blade of Pavel Demitra. That would have been a golden chance. Vancouver the other way. They are in a 4-0 hole here. Trying to gain some momentum, perhaps for their next outing. Here's Messier. Has Merzen try to hit him down low, but deflected first high to the air, and then cleared to the neutral zone.
Now they're going to try to jump in as much as they can right now, and they need anything. Messier trying to set up behind the net, looking for one of his defensemen to jump in. Not really two offensive-minded guys, though. McCabe and Merzen on the point.
Alexander Mogilny Ripped by Pellerin. Messier back to Mogilny. Looks to feed in front for net.
Oh!
The puck loose off the side of the post, and it just went wide. Best opportunity for the Canucks we've seen in a long time. Naslund's build. Spin for Mogilny, and nearly takes a spill himself. With 12:22 to go in our third period, McLennan continues to pitch that shutout. He's got a 4-0 lead on Vancouver. More coming up.
Good day, eh? As you can see, me and my brother has a taste for real adventure, eh? Oh no, we lost one! What an idiot! Good cheer! Whoa! Here. No way! You're just trying to slow me down! I got it!
For the Vancouver Canucks, Jamie McLennan has been a very tough nut to crack. And we'll tell you why we say that. Over 3 games, shutout streak against the Canucks, 130 minutes, 20 seconds. He continues the roll. It started the end of a game January 7th of 98. He shut him out March 9th of 98, then tonight. And that tradition has continued. He has been fabulous against the guys in black.
I guess that's why he got the nod. He's played well. He's being rewarded for his fine play, even though Grant Fuhr is back in the lineup. Grant Fuhr, of course, will head to the Hall of Fame when his great NHL career is over. He's got 388 wins. Patrick Waugh has currently 390 wins. You know the leader? Greatest goalie of all time, Terry Sawchuk, 447 wins. But look at Grant and the resiliency, too. He's 823 games played. That's 6th all time. 6th all time. You have to have a real good mental capacity to be able to handle that. And this guy here, he's just one of the fun-loving guys that you'll ever meet.
6-3-5 record this year, 267 goals against for the legend Grant Fuhr. Had overcome some knee and groin problems, but as Darren said, back healthy again. Cook in front, sharp angle shot, knocked away, and then clear to center ice. Matt Cook, the rookie, trying to break the schneid here for Vancouver and at least get one on the board. Popped up in the neutral zone. Rasheer and Campbell come together. And Trent Platt clears back for Matthias Olin.
Talking to some of the folks here in St. Louis up in the booth. Bernie Federko, their great legendary centerman. And of course, Kenny Wilson does their play-by-play. They're doing it for radio tonight. Talking to them, they said this Vancouver team looks like the Mike Keenan coach St. Louis Blues team that lost 8-0 and he was fired right after that.
3 days later, you're right.
Yeah, and that's what it reminded them of. And of course, they would know they were right here.
That was the last time Vancouver won here, as a matter of fact. It was Mike Keenan's last game as St. Louis, then St. Louis coach. Almost 3 years ago. 11 minutes straight up to our third period. Brett Hennigan leads McCall the other way. Or Wolverine we talked about tonight. You've been impressed with him tonight, Darren.
I've been impressed with him during the year. He hasn't gotten a lot of ice time in this game. He's just such a strong and heady player.
Kelly Chase across the line, looks for Twist, the twister. Trying to pull off a shot, but McCall was there on back check to get in his way, which is not exactly enviable if you're playing defense against Big Tony Twist.
Goes to show you about Billy McCall, though, the merits of playing 4 full years in a good program, the maturity level that you have to come into the NHL. This isn't an easy league.
May a steal. Has Scatchard with him. Try to spin and fire. Stayhouse comes away to Conroy. And he banks it off the far wall to center ice. Line change for St. Louis. Ryan McCabe dancing across the line. Easy stick save for McLennan into the near corner. Howell Dimitra chips through center ice and clears again for St. Louis. They're in cruise control now. Nurzin shot knocked down. Came to McAllister, and that's cleared again to the neutral zone.
Cruise control, you're right. But I think Joel Quenneville on the bench is probably still trying to instill in them. Go at them. Don't be on your heels. Don't give them any sign of life. Keep going at them. Play the same way we played in the first 10 minutes of the hockey game and continue to be fairly aggressive.
Speaking of aggressive, Lubos Barteco really has caught Joel Quenneville's eyes, playing solid on the puck. He's saying how much he's enjoyed watching him play the last several games, and he's chipped in with a couple of goals. Howell Dimitra, fellow Slovak star. McInnes tries to hold it in, and he'll throw it into the near corner. Regained by Hanzus. He is rung up and hit hard by Dana Mersin. And Scatchard leads the way for Vancouver. Line change for the Canucks as we roll down to 9 minutes to go in our third period. Pavel Demitra right around McGilding. He'll send that high right on net. Hirsch gloves it. He tries to get rid of it and finally has a whistle. And a faceoff coming up in his own zone. Pavel Demitra, St. Louis dominating tonight. And look to continue the big win against the Canucks. St. Louis 4-0. More domination against these Vancouver Canucks. And Pavel Demitra, who's chipped in with some good offensive play once again. Pellerin's pass goes off the stick and all the way cross ice over the boards, out of play. Perhaps we will see Pavel Demitra at the NHL All-Star Game this year. It certainly looks that way. A special edition of National Hockey Night, January 23rd, 7 Eastern. The Stars will shine first. The Legend of Hockey will have at it. Then today's heroes compete in the skills competition. Gretzky, Lindros, Jágr, just a few who will be showcased. And Teemu Selanne, of course, of Anaheim. January 23rd on your worldwide leader in sports.
Should be a great time.
Fun. You got it from Tampa, Florida.
Look forward to seeing Barry Melrose on that opposition's bench. Oh, here we go.
Conroy trying to get by Hirsch. Couldn't do it. Gary Hirsch shut him down. Conroy's already got an assist in this game, bidding for a goal. Oh. Somehow he found himself all alone, staring one-on-one at Corey Hirsch. Been a rough night for Van.
Oh, it's getting old looking at it. I mean, time and space and he's jumping. Just look at
Conroy, the intercept on the move. Pellerin ripped it wide. One-time drive. Had some net to work with on the short side and just missed it. Naslin fans on that dump-in try. They can't do that right now. Look out, giveaway. Yake across the line. This time Vancouver's back with 3 men. Nolan breaks it up. Under 8 minutes to go. Mercifully for Vancouver. Rivers clears to the neutral zone. McGilding spins away from Yake's check, but Terry Yake still aggressive on the puck. He just recalled from Worcester, the Ice Cats of the AHL, as we mentioned, and he's played well, getting some ice time. Saw a lot of action last year. Henneke on the move, shot on a one-timer, it's poked in, but after the whistle, Bill Mercury, our referee, is going to wave that off. Donald Brashear was there to knock in a rebound off Brett Hennigan's shot, but apparently after the whistle had blown, he may have lost sight of it.
He blew the whistle for sure. Billy McCreary was on the far side, and the puck was on this side, so he was looking and screened by the goaltender, Jamie McLennan. Now, you know, the referee's responsibility, if he doesn't see it, I mean, for a certain amount of time, he's obviously going to blow it down. The puck's right here on the left, and the whistle did go on the far side. Now, the point isn't the whistle and the sound you hear before the puck goes in. It's still the referee. If his intent, because they can be slow at putting the whistle in their mouth and blowing it, well, he lost sight, and he clearly disallowed the goal. Now, from our angle, and the angles that we get, we see that if the referee was on this side, if he happened to be on this side, he would have seen that the puck was loose, and it would have been a goal by Donald Brashear.
Brashear for Klatt. Intercept by Mark Bergevin. He is pulled down by Matt Cook, but Bill McCurry does not bring up the arm. Here's Jake across the line. And as Darren mentioned, St. Louis still very aggressive, going for more here. They have not gone back on their heels with a 4-0 lead and stayed aggressive. Who's coming in at 500 for the season? Well, 12-9. But the home record has been excellent, 9-5 and 3 ties. They continue strong play on home ice. Here's Pascal Rayon. He's got one already. Campbell was loose in front. He got behind Donald Brashear. Yikes. Almost another good chance for St. Louis and Jimmy Campbell. Lubos Barteco fans on a clearing try. Lewis trying to bring it out. Pavel Demitra, Hanzus, and Lubos Barteca on the ice here for Joe Quenneville's Blues as we head down to 6 minutes left in the third period. Michael Hanzus will It's there for Person, and it rolls all the way toward the Canuck goal, where Hirsch covers up.
Easy play by Corey Hirsch. In case you're just joining us right here, I know there's a lot of fans in St. Louis watching our show locally tonight. If you've missed it, and I'm sure you haven't, the talk shows and everybody's certainly been talking about what happened and what transpired today. A 4-year investigation results in these penalties for tampering in the Scott Stevens situation. Seems like many years ago. The $1.5 million in compensation, the 1 first-round pick to the Devils, and they'll swap another first-round pick with the Devils up until 2003.
The amazing thing is that Stevens played just 1 year here, 90-91, for all the mess that whole thing has caused and hurt for the Blues, where he had 49 points and 150 penalty minutes in 78 games. More from Jerry Ritter, the chairman of the board with the St. Louis Blues, on all the penalties coming down today.
I am appalled at the severity of the penalty imposed on the Blues. The loss of a #1 draft pick in 1 year and the switch in order of selection in another year are tough medicine.
Tough medicine is right. Joel Quenneville sitting there. He must be thinking, as he looks at the archives in St. Louis, well, we can handle it because we don't get many first-round draft picks anyway. Sure. When you go down in the 90s, they've only had 1 first-round draft pick, and it happened to be when Mike Keenan was here, and Marty Reisner, who just got sent down today to Worcester of the American Hockey League, he was that first-round draft pick, 14th overall.
He's had some good outings as well. The Rochester, New York native. Back down to Worcester for some more seasoning. Gatchard can't control. Tony Twist will. Leads Chase, and Murray Barron knocks the puck away. McAllister will lob that into the offensive zone, the far corner. Regained by Mark Bergevin. He and Pronger team together. Blue line for Joel Quenneville's Blues. Greg Conroy dumps it in wide to the left of Corey Hirsch, who's played admirably, I think, in this game. Helmer from the point, big shot, and a bad stop again from Corey Hirsch. Not been given a lot of help with some defensive breakdowns. Conroy cross ice for Scott Young. Tries to shove it by Brett Hennigan, but Red all over him, and it's dumped in again by Vancouver. Pronger around the boards, held in by a coin, wristed through, and harmlessly so for St. Louis. Trent Platt couldn't see it up. Young trying to get it out. Hennigan sends it on, and whistle just wide to the left of McLennan. Here's Young, good burst of speed, a double team, a coin. Ran him off the play with a good back check. Ambush here cross ice. Leads McGillman. Good burst into the offensive zone. Trying for some late game heroics here for Vancouver. Guard Person wrestling him away from the puck. Moving muscles McGillney away and separates puck and stick. Harry York for McGillney tries to get fancy. It's a breakup for Campbell. Across the line the other way. Jim Campbell hit hard. Dana Merzen racked him up. Pascal Rayon, and Merzen throws Campbell down. And Campbell's lost his stick. Well, perhaps Merzen has lost the lumber. That is the case. Campbell regains. Fires for Pascal Rayon. Back to Jim Campbell.
It's been a good line for Quenneville. Real good line. Getting Yake back to center ice, playing his natural position. And Rayon has been a gritty performer in this game.
Campbell regains, spins and fires, deflected off the stick of McCabe in the last moment. Otherwise, he had a point-blank shot. Person nearly lost the helmet. Trying to back-check Alexander Mogilny. And a timeout on the ice with 3:12 to go in our third period. Al McGinnis and St. Louis continue to lead.
Hey, we're the McKenzie brothers, eh? And we're here to stop a heinous crime.
Yeah, they're sending Molson Canadians south of the border instead of our house where it belongs.
But we got a plan, eh?
Step out of the truck, please, sir. We offer a complimentary breakfast and 3 donuts, eh? How about a little deodorant for those long, stinky rides?
Au revoir, eh? Try putting it in low, eh?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm gunning it.
Like winter conditions.
Of the year, Toronto beats the Lightning 5-4.
All right, John, thank you. We will see you for the NHL tonight, coming up after our broadcast from St. Louis. In front, Dimitra tries to create. Hanzus being tied up. Penalty coming up against Vancouver. And afterwards, look out. Lubos Barteco and Brad May. Brad May wants a piece of the rookie. Lubos is just trying to get out of there. I don't think he wants to tangle with Big Brad May. That probably wouldn't be.
I think it caught him by surprise, though. I mean, looked like everything was dead, and all of a sudden Brad May threw the mitts down and started throwing them at him. Unless Barteco had done something, you know, earlier. Let's just take a close look from behind. It's one-on-one right here. Barteco's on your left right here. May's there. Nothing's going on. Unless maybe that stick came up after it. I don't know. Well, May just starts throwing him. Just starts tossing him. Barteco's really not expecting that at all. May's going to go to the penalty box.
There was a penalty already from Bill McCreary. And let's update you now on the ESPN.com poll. Tonight on the Sports Zone, the biggest reason for the Canucks' struggles.
Wow.
What is it? Well, indeed, a surprise. The Pavel Bure situation is the top vote from more than 2,700 who contributed tonight. Thanks to all who cast your vote. And Mike Keenan, well, his coaching and the controversy about some comments that he made last week, not the biggest reason, according to fans.
It's the team, though, that doesn't have any passion, any look in their eyes. They're not playing as a team, and they were listless in their last game, although it was just a 2-1 game, and Jeff Hackett played awfully well. Jeff Hackett, by the way, the former Blackhawk goalie with Montreal, player of the week. Dominic Hasek, player of the month. And there's been shutouts, one every 6.4 games. And that is the highest since 1967-68, when it was one every 5.3 games, and we're looking at one tonight.
The end result of all the contact between Lubos Barteco and Brad May, a 2-minute roughing minor on Brad May. Young trying to create. St. Louis setting up power play. Another opportunity to cash in. Conroy had his stick smashed in two. He's got to get fresh lumber from his bench. Young and Merzen come together. Conroy, good hip check on Trent Platt. Regained by Young. Here's Conroy. He's hammered from behind by Dana Merzen.
Yeah, he is.
Yikes. One-time drive, Pellerin. Stop made. Pad save from Hirsch. Comes cross ice McInnes. Back for Pronger. Power play time here with less than 2 minutes to go in the third period. All St. Louis tonight from the Kiel Center. Young outside the left circle. McCabe stretching out, trying to cut down the angle. One-time drive from Pronger was tipped wide. Didn't get a lot of mustard on that one. It's regained again from Young. Conroy for Young. Sharp angle. Cross ice Pellerin. Leaves back for McInnes. Fans want to see him shoot it. And Young couldn't tee it up. Bouncing puck. McCabe tries to clear. Around the boards, not out. Sent back right toward the goal. And finally, Merzen will blast it down ice.
Not only is this line for Joel Quenneville a good 5-on-5 line, but he also has that confidence, and they have the skill to play with the man advantage. Good puck movement by this line, led by Pellerin and Conroy, and Scott Young, who can always shoot the puck.
Final moments power play. Haslund still short-handed. Shot put right on by Murray Barron. And Helmer regains. Final 50 seconds here from St. Louis. Put an exclamation point on a big St. Louis night. Maybe freezing cold outside, but pretty hot inside the Kiel Center. Not only all the news they got, but on the move, here comes Vancouver, and McLennan denies Billy McCall.
He looks hurt a little bit.
He was hit hard, went off the side of the goal. Got a piece of the post on the way through.
Yeah, he was, but I mean, you got to get Billy McCall was just driving to the net. I mean, they're able to do that. He's going to the net and driving on the short side. And with that pursuit, he ran right into Jamie.
May back on the ice. And look out, here we go.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
Tony Twist.
Yeah.
It's Brad May.
Yeah, you know why, huh? When Brad May came right out of the box, Joel Quenneville had Twist on the ice at the very end. And there's a point to this. And the point to this from Tony Twist is how the heck, with 2.5 minutes left in the hockey game, do you go at one of our younger guys, European guy, not suspecting anything, and Tony Twist is letting him know that. You want to go somebody, you want to go the big boy, here, come over here and give it a go. And so Joel Quenneville is letting the big boys come out and have a little fun at the end of this hockey game.
Stayhouse and Chase also have squared off. And Twist gets the congratulatory slap from Grant Fuhr. That is his role, to protect, to enforce, to serve all, and he does that very well.
That's where hockey is a unique game. There's an equalizer, and Jamie McLennan, in the meantime, he's still suffering from that knock when Billy McCult came in on the short side. Congratulations to Jimmy. Only 7.8 seconds remaining. This is the play in which he went down. Nice little give-and-go play to McCult. McCult's going to get taken out, though, by the defenseman. He can't do anything here, really. He can't. He's putting on the brakes, and maybe half-heartedly, but he's driving to the net. He's pulled down a little bit off balance as well. And McLennan did a nice job of holding his ground. That's a real difficult play for a goalie because you know you're going to get smoked. But he held his ground, covered the short side. And in the middle of that, looks like he was stung a little bit. But he has one shutout going into this hockey game. We talked about his success recently against the Vancouver Canucks, and he continues that in this hockey game.
Well, Darren, coming up, much more hockey on ESPN2's National Hockey Night. First, it's Buffalo and Anaheim, Wednesday, 10:30 Eastern Time, as Dominik Hasek takes on Paul Kariya, Teemu Selanne, and the Mighty Ducks from the pond on the West Coast. Plus more hockey coming your way. Thursday at 8 o'clock, it's the Blackhawks and Blues, 8 o'clock Eastern. Tony Amani, NHL League 23 goals, goes against these very St. Louis Blues in this very building on Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2.
That game apparently here, and I may be mistaken in saying this, but a sold-out venture, if I'm not mistaken anyway, which they normally are, and hopefully the roads and everything will get better and school resume. All these young kids, they had that great break, and now they get today off.
Extra day
here
off.
in St. Louis, they might have tomorrow off as well. Well, Mike Keenan's called the timeout. 7.8 seconds remaining. I think he called it off himself. He went for a timeout and said, hey, well, wait a second here. Down 4-0. What's going on?
Final seconds will tick away. And a long shot. Gloved down by McLennan, and he's got himself another shutout. His second of the year. And fourth of his career with 20 stops. McLennan and St. Louis, Darren, very dominant tonight on Vancouver.
Well, again, not giving up very many scoring chances, but they had some help, and the help was the opposition that didn't try to create too many scoring chances. But St. Louis, give them a lot of credit. I mean, this is a team that has really handled adversity very well. A lot of things going on off the ice today, things they can't control. And Grant Fuhr giving him a nod. At the meantime, on the other end of the ice, Corey Hirsch played a heck of a hockey game. A heck of a game. He was hung out to dry on several occasions in this game.
So our final score for the Kiel Center, St. Louis victorious, as they have defeated the Vancouver Canucks for a 6th straight time. Now for the entire ESPN2 National Hockey Night crew, my broadcast partner Darren Pang, this is Dave Ryan, saying so long from the Kiel Center in St. Louis. It is all Blues. Coming up next, the NHL tonight. So long from St. Louis, a 4-0 final.